So Oracle in Africa, I think we are almost 30 years old. We were one of the early vendors who started our operations in Africa. We started off in South Africa. It's over the last 10 years is when we really started to put a lot of emphasis on our units. We started off multiple organization offices. No longer is the focus only on one country. Typically for any other organization, South Africa would be the natural entry point. Today we've got 13 offices. I think by far for any IT company, and when I say 13 offices, each of these offices are pretty self-sufficient. They've got sales, they've got pre-sales, they've got a financial accounting, they've got consulting. So I think it's a very self-sustained unit, which we have created 13 of them, and it's only growing. I think just last week we inaugurated a new office in Mauritius. We already had a unit, but I think we ran out of space. I think the same thing. Nigeria, well-blown big unit. We are right now, I think early 2018, we're moving into a new office. The places are soon running out. The incredible growth story for Oracle on the African continent. I think it's over the last 10 years. It's the last bastion for many of the IT enterprise. And having said that, no better way to have firm ground with feet on street close to the market, and that's what our strategy has been. Sales is Oracle is a sales organization. We are known for enterprise selling, so sales is our front end. When we say sales, sales and pre-sales together form the pivot of our organization. So this two combined force is what we enter the market with. So that's a universal given in each of the countries. So we have a sales unit, we have a pre-sales unit, which helps. The pre-sales units are the ones who show demos, POCs, they do all the pre-sale work. Again, once a sale is complete, we have a plethora of partners who help to execute it. So it is either through partners or our own wing in Oracle Consulting. Having said that, OCS is it's a premium service. So OCS is doing select projects, but our core interest is to enter the market through an indirect model. Our services model is very, very indirect. Partners are at the forefront of all this technology. They are prevalent in all the 50 countries. We work jointly on opportunities with them. As I said, when we put one person on the ground in one of the countries, and whether it is Somalia or it is Sierra Leone, our partners probably have 10 feet on the street. So I think it's that combined entity. So we are growing the Africa market in such a way that as Oracle grows, its partner ecosystem is growing as well. So three key areas where Oracle really has got a very strong footprint, and I can say early adopters. So banking is Oracle's core strength, so we are very strong in all the financial institutes. The second one is telecom, very big footprint. I think we have an end-to-end stack to play in the telecom space. And last but not the least is the government. All these three areas we play. So what is key happening in Africa? You know, it's a very wide continent. There are multiple high-end submarine cables landing into the continent. This submarine cables, which has landed at various points and spots in Africa, has helped the internet boom. So it's a very unlike there could be a story that the landlocked countries might have a slower internet, but all the countries around the periphery are really booming on internet. So digital has become a big story within Africa. Governments have started to spend on this digital wave. I just touch upon an example of, say, banking. The banking industry is so matured that digital banking is a big way forward. Branchless is the way to go. If you know the first of the digital payment in Kenya, in M-Pesa, those were the pioneers. So whole of the country works probably on this banking segment called M-Pesa. So I think it's a myth that the cloud is not taking off in Africa. I can tell you, you must be amazed with the amount of cloud interest. Over the last 12 months, we have seen interest in cloud in every single layer, whether it's in SaaS, whether it is in PaaS, or whether it is in ES. And it's across the whole ecosystem. If you look at the new fintech hubs, they are ready, ripe to just start off their operations on an Oracle platform to start off. If they are going with ERP, they want something to immediately kickstart with a subscription model, low cost, and then look at the cost. So I think it depends on which location of Africa you are based out of. But the fintech story is so strong. The collaboration with the banks to bring out new instruments, new offerings to the end users. Population is huge. I think it's a burgeoning population of Africa. Look at some of the markets: Nigeria 100 million plus, Ethiopia 100 million plus, the Kenyans of over 40 million. So I think it's a huge population where fintech hubs, along with the financial instruments, have to touch daily people. And I think Oracle is able to touch some of these technologies at every single layer, whether it's infrastructure, whether it is platform, or whether it is core application. I think our end-to-end complete offering is able to give the ability for any of these organizations to have a full Oracle footprint. And most important, the speed. In a fintech story, we're talking about speed of execution, and I think the cloud gives you the tremendous speed of execution. You can start off now, and you can reach the last mile in months, or days. Unlike the older times where you would probably struggle to reach an offering to the end user in 6 months or 8 months. Today, we're talking about few weeks. I think we were early adopters. We actually started off with this IoT game almost few years before. If you've been tracking Oracle very closely, even in the new Oracle Open World, which is just in 2017, just concluded in San Francisco, we just expanded the portfolio. We introduced the new chatbots, we introduced the new IoTs, we introduced AI as a service, and multiple new announcements which came about. I think it will only accelerate the new adoption. And if I were to link all this adoption to Africa, I think the best way to put is, looks like cloud is made for Africa. I think there is no better synergy than cloud and Africa. Why? Because it's a leapfrog of technology. They did not go through the generations of technology to leapfrog. So they're jumping straight, and they have that ability and the objective to directly go into this new age technologies. We are working with some of the power consumption organizations in various parts of Africa, where we are trying to now do sensor-based metering of the consumption of electricity. So there are various projects right now happening in Africa as of right now. I think fantastic question. I think the game is changing. The game is changing from value to volume. Oracle has always been known for cutting this large multi-million-dollar deals. We had our enterprise customer whom we would service. But in this cloud scenario, you will see that volume is necessary. So where we have our traditional customer base, so as I said, if there's a banking unit in a country, how many banks would be there in a country? Assuming max of 20 banks, minimum of 10 banks. So those segments were already penetrated. That gives us our run rate business. Those are expanding. If a bank is already started off with core banking with Oracle, today they are now trying to mine the data, right? Data is the new modern oil, So that data mining has started off in existing accounts, and they have started to go into multiple projects. But I think the small and the medium business is where the volumes are coming. And I can tell you that all the small organizations are future large enterprises. So it's a good sweet spot to be in. But I think the strategy for Oracle is clearly changing. It is value to volume. And some of the investments what you have made, you would have seen in some of the portfolios also. If you see outside Gitex, you see a huge presence and interest of people in a product like NetSuite. It's a fast moving product, easy to deploy. You can buy it for a very cheap point, and you can be up and running in a few weeks. So I think Oracle itself has turned. I tell the team, today's Oracle is like born in the cloud. I feel like a startup. I've been in this organization for long. We are an organization over 30 years. But if you were to ask any Oracleite today, it's like born in the cloud. I'm totally, truly excited with this product. I think it has just brought a new impetus into our offering. As I said, if you look into the larger global top 500 companies, how many companies are there in Africa? Hardly none, okay? So what you call an enterprise in an American market might not be synonymous in an African market. We have our own top 500 in Africa. Now, look at this. Traditionally, if you look at the offering, I think NetSuite has got such a fantastic offering and right spec to that SMB space. And whole of Africa in that is a resemblance to an SMB space. And I think the products being on the cloud, you know, the ability for Oracle to react, to change the models, to change the structure on taxes, it's so fast. And I'm seeing early wins over the last few months. Amazing wins. A conversation with the customer can start at the beginning of the quarter and you see successes before the end of the quarter. Sales cycles are shorter. The customer is able to immediately reap benefit out of it. And this is what is NetSuite. So to answer your question, truly excited, great product. I think it has only given us a new flip and impetus to run faster.